For over 6 centuries, European colonialism reshaped the world. At its peak, European empires controlled more than 80% of the Earth's landmass, leaving a legacy that still dictates global politics today. The era began in 1415 with the Portuguese conquest of Ceuta in North Africa. This was the first step in a centuries-long expansion driven by mercantilism and naval technology. By 1450, the development of the caravel, a light, maneuverable ship, allowed Portugal and Spain to lead the Age of Discovery, pushing into uncharted waters. In 1494, the Treaty of Tordesillas was signed, arbitrarily dividing the non-European world into Spanish and Portuguese spheres of influence, ignoring the millions who already lived there. In 1510, Portugal conquered Goa, and soon after, Malacca. They became the first European power to establish a maritime empire in Asia and the Middle East. Between 1519 and 1536, Spanish conquistadors Hernán Cortés and Francisco Pizarro dismantled the Aztec and Inca empires, bringing the Americas under European steel and disease. By the 17th century, new powers entered. The Dutch expanded in Java, while England founded Jamestown and France established Quebec, globalizing the competition. The first major collapse of the colonial system began in 1775. The American War of Independence saw the United States break away from Great Britain. In 1791, the Haitian Revolution became the first successful slave revolt in history, establishing Haiti as an independent republic by 1804. By 1825, most of Spanish America had fought for and won independence. Brazil followed in 1822, ending centuries of Iberian rule in the region. Britain then pivoted to Asia. Through the Pitt's India Act and the Opium Wars, they forcibly opened Chinese markets and solidified their rule over India. Industrialization fueled a new imperialism after 1870. Europe's hunger for raw materials triggered an unprecedented territorial expansion. In 1884, the Berlin Conference established the principle of effective occupation. European nations carved up Africa without a single African leader present. The transformation was rapid. In 1870, only 10% of Africa was under European control. By 1900, that number had surged to 90%. By 1914, European empires had reached their zenith. Nearly 100 modern-day countries were under the control of just a few European capitals. World War I saw the collapse of the Ottoman and German empires. Their territories were reassigned as mandates to the victors, Britain and France. In 1918, the concept of self-determination sparked hope across the colonized world, fueling nationalist movements from Egypt to Vietnam. The interwar years were marked by unrest. In 1925, France bombed Damascus for 24 hours to crush the Great Syrian Revolt. Empire was increasingly fragile. World War II bankrupted European powers and shattered the myth of their invincibility. Japan's occupation of European colonies changed everything. In 1947, the independence of India and Pakistan became the catalyst for global decolonization, though it began with a violent nightmare of over 1 million deaths. By the mid-50s, the momentum was irresistible. French defeat in Vietnam and the failed Suez expedition signaled the end of European military dominance. 1960 was the year of Africa. 17 nations gained independence in a single wave, forever changing the United Nations and the world map. One of the bloodiest struggles was in Algeria. A brutal 8-year war led to the collapse of the French Fourth Republic before independence in 1962. Portugal resisted longest, only decolonizing after the 1974 Carnation Revolution overthrew its dictatorship, freeing Angola, Mozambique, and Guinea-Bissau. But decolonization didn't mean the end of influence. Neo-colonialism emerged, with former powers maintaining control through debt and infrastructure. Britain and France alone traced 40% of today's international boundaries. These arbitrary lines often ignored ethnic realities, fueling modern conflicts. The cultural impact remains profound. Today, 46 African nations still use English or French as official languages, a permanent echo of the colonial era. The handovers of Hong Kong in 1997 and Macau in 1999 are the final markers of an era that spanned over 600 years. The story isn't over. Today, 17 non-self-governing territories still exist, where 2 million people live under the shadow of past empires. History is not just the past, it is the ground we stand on. To understand our present, we must look at how the world was taken, occupied, and redrawn.